Welcome to another episode of Corona Chronicles Live. I am so excited to have my guest with me today. We are going to be talking about resetting for success in 2021. So today I have with me Genna Dall and Lesley Thomas. And we're going to dive into, it's fastly approaching 2021. And we have had enough of 2020. Many of us had the stories of gloom and doom, the loss, the so many things that were negative with 2021, but we just want to be able to take those lessons and get a jump start on a new beginning with 2021. So we are glad to be here today. We have collaborated on an event, and we are going to talk a little bit about that event and dive into some of the things that we are working to inspire people with for 2021. So before we get into some of those dynamics, let's first go around and introduce each one of us so that we can move forward into our conversation. So we will start with Genna.
Thank you so much for having me on today, Lachelle. So I'm so pleased to be on with these wonderful women. My name is Genna, as Lachelle has said, and I am a mum. I'm a podiatrist. I work clinically a few days a week, and I also am super passionate about overall health and well-being, and I work with people to help them really work through some of the things that they need help with, whether that be gut health, whether that be weight management, whether that is just general, skin and self-esteem. So I am going to be contributing on our webinar on those topics. So that's me.
Awesome. All right. And then we will go to Lesley.
Thank you, Lachelle. I'm equally excited to be here. Thank you very much for having us on the show. And I'm really looking forward to the event. So I am the Money Mastery Business Coach, and I work with female entrepreneurs to help them overcome any limiting beliefs that they have as a result of their money mindset. As we know, 2020 has been a shocker of a year and will have had significant impact both on people's bank balances, but not just that, on their mindset with regards to money and how that is impacting them both generally in their life, in running their business. And I want to be able to help them to resolve those limiting beliefs and to be able to start 2021 in the way that they want to and move themselves forward, removing those limiting beliefs.
Awesome. So this is really, I'm so excited about this. And I am Lachelle Atkins. I didn't even think to introduce myself when we started. But I am going to be talking about mindset. I struggled with depression in the past. And so I'm very passionate about shedding the light on some of the things that kind of get us stuck, to where we can't move forward. We have these limiting beliefs, as Lesley mentioned, or we deny ourselves of the self-care that we need, just as Genna is going to be talking about. So I am going to be diving into where we start first, which is our mindset and how we can move forward in a way that's positive. So we're really excited. We actually got connected through V-Team. We are a part of that referral network. That's how we all met. And it's just another testament to coming together, collaborating, networking, and really seeing some of the pain points that people are struggling with in order to move forward in a positive way. So my first question that I would ask the ladies is, why do you feel led to have such a presentation for 2021?
Do you want to go first, Lesley, or?
Okay, I think the end of this year is always a time when we start to reflect on the new year. But I think this year in particular, there is a real need to be able to refocus and be able to move ourselves forward, particularly in light, of all the news with regards to the vaccines and the treatments, etc. Gives us all the hope that we are going to be getting back to normality during 21. But what we want to do collectively is ensure that whilst we're still going to be going through the pandemic in that early part of 21, we want to be able to equip people with the tools that are going to allow them to skyrocket their launch into 21, to give them that confidence and to give them the ability to see 2021 as not just being, a new year, which it clearly is going to be. It's going to be a new start as well, whilst we shed everything that we have associated with what has happened in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Good answer.
I love that. And I think just to add to that, because it is such a good point for reflection in the year, particularly, if I look back at some of the things that have happened in our family, in our household, our traditional business was closed for a number of weeks, which definitely hit our bank balance. We started off doing our online workouts, and then we ended up living like we were on some lockdown cruise ship, eating and drinking what we wanted. So health slipped. And definitely that all impacts on mindset as well. And for me, I think the exciting bit about this event is the taking back of control. And I just love to see people empowered to take control, not wait to the 1st of January before you start to think about doing that. And I love that we're popping this right in the middle of December to really get people thinking about, like, reflecting at that point, like, what are some of the things that I could be doing now, and not, tomorrow never comes. We know that. I know that from years of, sort of working on myself. And I know that procrastinating about just making change and getting started with, turning over a new leaf and so on, often is put off till that 1st of January. But actually empowering people to think, actually, maybe there's some things I can do right now and feel better about 2021 and finish up this year strong and feeling good about it, finish on a high rather than slink off out of 2020 and into the new year hoping for better. Like, let's finish out this year strong. So that for me is a massive part of this as well, is just empowering people to take that control.
I love that. And, I think in addition to that, it's just the whole thing of recognizing that we have the power to choose to do something different. So many times we talk about, I want things to be different, and we just don't know how to take action. You know that you want something different, but you don't know how to go about doing it. So I love the fact that we're able to come together and give people actual strategies that they can use to begin to create that life that they're looking for. So what are some of the things that kind of have gotten you stuck in the past that you notice that a lot of people kind of get stuck in, that is really the basis for such an event?
I think when obviously something like 2020, the pandemic, that's never ever obviously been an experience any of us have had until now. And it's the first probably, shared global experience, that we've ever had. But what the pandemic has in common with other periods of time is you can become bogged down in events, and you can let events control you rather than, exactly as you said, Lachelle, instead of you actually choosing to make decisions, they're going to take you out of where you are. It's not always about reacting. You have got to be proactive, because if you're always going to sit back and wait for others to make decisions for you, you could be waiting a long, long time. Or you could be deciding to take action now, to take responsibility for yourself and start to move forward. And that is how I approach everything with my coaching clients, is by saying to them, have an awareness of where you've come from, work out where you want to move to, and then you can put that action plan in place to move from one to the other. And I think whilst this year has been a year that, none of us want to repeat, I also think there's lessons that we can take from this year positively to bring forward into 21, things that we will have learned that we can then utilize to ensure that from 21 onwards, we are really living our best lives rather than as we've previously done. I think everybody kind of had a bucket list. Why do you want to have a bucket list? Why do you not want to have a here and now list? And I think exactly. And I think if anything has been learned the hard way this year is don't put off till tomorrow anything you can do today, because actually today is all we know we're guaranteed of. And I think that is what we all need to be taking forward into the new year, is create action, create change, and do it for now. Don't do it for the future.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's good.
That's great. Yeah. And so I think for me, things that have helped me in the past, that was what you asked, right? Things that have helped me in the past. So I think I turned 40 this year, and that was quite a milestone I feel I've hit. And definitely kind of like Lesley just said, you know, that bucket list, like things I'll do before I turn 40. I've kind of scrapped that idea. And for me, definitely what this year has taught me is actually I have some really good inbuilt habits now. And I think one of the things that we're going to bring to the table at this event is just teaching some solid, sustainable, healthy mindset habits, you know, that will stand the test of time. You know, they're not, I think so many times I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm really sick of myself. Like, I'm so fed up with myself. I'm not, you know, in the right mind space, or I'm not looking after my finances properly, or I'm not looking after my health properly. I'm not making time for me. And then I would turn over a leaf and make a big change, but it wouldn't stick. And actually just learning some small, simple things that you can factor in and that will take you through, and that are not massively time consuming as well. So it doesn't feel like, oh, this is too much work, like hard work. So I think I'm excited to show people some stuff that they can, you know, that will last them a lifetime. I think each of us, you know, are going to be showing people things that they can use over and over again to keep them, you know, at a higher level throughout the rest of their lives.
I love that. And, you know, I think one of the things for me that always kind of got me stuck was the fear. You know, it was like, oh, I could see something, and then I get into it, and then it's like, man, you know, well, what's going to happen when this happens? You know, you kind of just like analysis paralysis. You start coming up with all these different scenarios that, you know, you don't even know is really going to happen, but it just gets you where you don't do anything. You kind of create your own overwhelm. And so I think it's really just a testament to thinking about, you know, planning that process over time, you know, doing it a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, I love the fact that we are even breaking it up into 3 different segments. It's your mind, it's your money, it's your self-care. So even that, to let people see that even though you're going to look forward to a new year and you want new things, but even that is 3 different parts that we're dealing with. So this gives the people the visual that, okay, this isn't going to happen overnight. You know, it is going to take some work, and I have to stay the course because I'm dealing with 3 different areas, even though we can find ways to blend them. So that's kind of what I was thinking, that really can be beneficial for a lot of people.
And I think as well, it's about recognizing that 2020, for the majority of people, doesn't have to be that year that you scratch out of your, you know, out of your calendar, as it were. I think it's important to recognize there have been positive moments. There have been moments that we can learn from. You know, I know me as a family, one thing I wanted to do and never had time to do is the boys would always have their tea in the evening when they came in from school, and my husband and I would have ours later on in the day, in the evening. I wanted to be able to find a way to cook properly for them altogether. Pandemic gave me that opportunity, and now it's ingrained as a habit. And I think what is so good about the event, as Genna said, we're putting it on, in the middle of December. It still gives us all that opportunity to leave 2020 a little bit better off than we might have been, because for the majority of us, we haven't been significantly impacted, and therefore we do need to have that reflection that says, yeah, it wasn't a year we want to repeat, but let's take what we can from it and move forward as proactively and as purposefully as we possibly can.
Love that. So, the last question that I would ask each of you is, what do you do in your daily routine that helps you cultivate this mindset? Because, it definitely is one that's a little unique. A lot of people talk about, being around like-minded people and, gratitude and all these different things. But how many of us really are doing it? Because it's a reflection of how we take action or don't take action, or the type of words that we say. So what is it that each of you do to kind of protect yourself and being in that kind of positive mindset?
Yeah. So one of the things that I try and make a real habit of is get up early. And I just feel like I win the day when I'm up and at them. And whether that is to, like yesterday, I hosted a call for 60 people where we did a bit of inspiration and then a bit of work-related stuff. This morning, I hit the gym at 6:45. We have a family breakfast most mornings. So kind of like Lesley was saying about the meals, I try and make sure that I'm super organized with things like meal planning for the week, so that we know, what we're having to eat as a family, when we're going to sit down, because there are a couple of nights that we just can't, but most times we try and make that work. In terms of my mindset, I try and read at least 10 pages of something decent every day, and by decent I mean a personal development type book. So at the moment I've gone back to one called The Slight Edge, which I love, and it's all of the basically it's about all of those, you hear my kids in the background, principles about, everything you do, every choice you make either takes you on the success curve or the failure curve. There's no static line. And these things, they're small, but they add up. They tip the scales one way or the other. And so they're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. So I could have easily hit the snooze button the last couple of mornings and thought, will it make any difference? Probably not today, but there'll come a point down the line where all of that consistent effort allows me to cope better with stuff, makes me a fitter, healthier mum. All of these things just compound over time. So for me, it is just about little and often, and making sure that I keep my head in the right place with reading, I keep my body in the right place with some regular fitness, get up early, get on with things, and those for me are 3 key habits that I've built in over time.
That's good.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm in that place of being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what I mean with that is in growing my coaching business, I've really got to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone in terms of being visible, in terms of, going live daily to my different audiences, etc. And that's not something back in the summer I particularly wanted to do. I resisted it. But actually, it's in that discomfort that I have discovered my ability to grow and my ability to really understand what my strengths and weaknesses are. And I think a big part of mindset is, first of all, having that awareness, because once you have that awareness, that is when you're able to do something about it. And when you're able to do something about it, you actively go searching for those tools that are going to help you overcome that little voice that, that kind of comes to all of us at certain points in our day, our week, our month, whenever it might be. Clients will say to me, oh, yeah, but your mindset, your money mindset must be absolutely rock solid. It's rock solid most of the time, but even I have those moments when that little nagging voice is saying to me, you don't know as much as somebody else, you haven't got as much experience as somebody else, and I have to find a way to deal with that and to get myself back on track. So I think for me, it's being uncomfortable. So it's being comfortable with being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think it's about awareness. I'm not great first thing in the morning. I'm listening to you, Jenna. I think I possibly need to build that into my day a little bit at the moment, because I am complaining about a lack of time to work out, and it's clearly my fault. And I've managed to totally and utterly blame time on that rather than myself. So I have an awareness myself. But you're one back, thank you, ma'am, on this call tonight. But I think for all of us, it is just trying to do what works for us, creating our own routine that works for us, and not feeling you have to follow somebody else's routine if that isn't for you, but recognize when you are the one that's creating those barriers to actually move yourself forward.
That's good. I mean, you guys have said some great things, and definitely I tested both of those. And, I love the getting up early in the morning. I have 8 kids that are doing e-learning. So the morning is a great place for me to kind of think and, feel like a victor first thing in the morning. Because if I'm doing something for me and it's accomplishing something, I feel really good. And I feel like I'm in a better space meeting and greeting my kids when they get up. But another thing I would add to that is the element of just doing it. There have been so many times in the past that it's like, well, let me check and see if this will work, if I do it this way. And it's like what you were saying, Lesley, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, when an idea comes, I figure out how can I implement this the fastest. I don't want to sit on things and think about it, and it gives me the opportunity to not really be married to the outcomes, so that I can just look at it as an experience, who I'm going to meet, who I'm going to get close to, what am I going to learn? That begins to be the focus rather than am I going to be successful or something in the process. So that has really helped me to grow, collaborate, do a lot more with people. And I think it's always good to remember that we're not an island. For me, I was trying to do a lot of stuff by myself for years, and it drove me crazy. Okay. So we're done with that. So this is great. So I just want us to go around, kind of tell everybody how to get a hold of you, because this event is going to be December the 12th, and it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So they are in different time zones. You guys could tell us what time it is where you are on the day that we do the event, and how people can get a hold of you. Because some people are those overachievers and they're like, hey, I want to find out today what they're talking about. So they might want to schedule a one-on-one with you guys.
So it's 3 till 6 p.m. for our time zone, which is, we're back to GMT, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. And best way to get hold of me is either through my Facebook page. So that's Genna Dall, Life by Design. That's my Facebook page. Or on LinkedIn. So I'm just under my own name, Genna Dall, and I'm on LinkedIn. So for anyone that uses that platform more. And I also have an Instagram of the same Facebook name. So Genna Dall, Life by Design, on those platforms.
And for me, my email address is leslie@lesleyathomas.com. On LinkedIn, I'm Lesley-Thomas. On Instagram, I am the Money Mastery Business Coach. And on Facebook, I am Lesley Thomas, and I'm probably Lesley Thomas, the Money Mastery Business Coach there as well, just to separate me from other Lesley Thomases. So hopefully through one of those methods, people will be able to get hold of me.
Awesome. And if you want to get a hold of me, just put something in the comments, because we will be checking those as well. So we want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are going to be posting this event on Eventbrite. It is going to be a virtual event. Just wanted to make that a note, because a lot of people are, we are looking forward to meeting live one of these days in the near future. But as of right now, it will be virtual. On the Eventbrite, if there's any questions that you may have, all of our information should be on the Eventbrite when we publish it, which will be tomorrow. You can get your tickets there. And we are also going to be donating the proceeds to charity. So we will also have the charity that we will be donating those proceeds to listed on the Eventbrite as well. So did you ladies have anything else you wanted to conclude with? We can just go around and give one piece of advice or something before we leave.
So I would just say, like, if anything that we've said has resonated or maybe made you feel a bit uncomfortable even, or, just kind of like lit a spark in you about, yeah, I want to take some action, then do it. Just book and join us on the webinar. We would love to see you on, or reach out to us in the meantime, and just, move some things forward for you, for your future, and take control. Just take control.
Awesome.
Yeah. I would echo exactly what Genna has said there. I think it's all about ending 2020 on as much of a positive note as possible and extending that positive note and taking it higher moving into 21. So I would really implore people to come along, listen, take action, and move yourself forward.
Awesome. And I would say, start 2021 off with investing in you. You are your biggest asset. So, don't think about, all these things happening for free. We've had a lot of things that were donated through 2020, but you want to begin to level up, separate yourself, and start investing in you, because you deserve it. So the life that you want to invest in you. In turn, this gives you the strength and the development to keep moving forward, and you can in turn invest in others. So we want to thank you guys for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you guys on December 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 3 p.m. GMT time. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see y'all soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.